So Long is one of the responsibles of the more than a year period in which ABBA, after the Waterloo triumph, looked as if it wasn't going to be anything but another typical Eurovision's one-hit wonder. It is the single which was wrongly chosen on behalf of a song wearing a sound similar to the previous worldwide hit, leaving aside glories in the vein of SOS or I've Been Waiting for You, songs that were already recorded. It is a bad girl's rock and roll, according to its time's fashion, colored with a strong glam sound. It is a sample of that type of rock and roll to which Benny and Bjorn were trying to approach, and which they never stopped saying that it's a type of music that never became them. Okay, I think I have made an account of the negative aspects of this song. Next, I am going to portray that rocky, catchy, adrenalinic and provocative party that So Long is. It is impossible to skip or stop it once it has started, as it is impossible to leave our feet quiet from its furious intro until the trumpet fade out. So Long's power imposes from its very intro, which reminisces the turbines of a jet. Benny is responsible for that sound, going up through the notes of his Moog synthesizer over an electric guitar's background. When the intro has been finished, the jet has took off, and it sails over the guitars that push a defiant riff. Benny leaves his Moog aside for a moment, in order to sit at the piano and play a boogie-woogie. Sadly, and as in the majority of his works at the piano for ABBA, his performance remains quite hidden in the mix. Agneta and Frida sing in bassy tones, serious, in a performance absolutely different from everything that they had previously sung. They are not fools. They defy some guy, showing themselves indifferent towards his fancy car, telling him that his tricks are not going to take him far, that he won't be able to buy them with his money. The lyrics are an aggressive version to the Beatles' Can't Buy Me Love. This is one of the better examples of what Bjorn used to explain about those first times lyrics, whose only point was to sound okay. The rhymes, honey, money, and the melodic Tracy Daisy, they may be crazy, are as catchy as the melody in itself. And the aha-ha in the verses is a preview to other future ahas, like that in the song Voulez-vous or in Knowing Me, Knowing You. The topic concerning money is another detail that made them closer to glam groups of that time. Luxury and materialism were fashionable in the 70s, in a strong contrast with the hippie tendency of the late 60s and early 70s. The chorus is generous in terms of vocal arrangements. Under the melody of the lyrics, we hear a vocal layer where the girls sing the last word in every verse several times. And under this layer, there is another one with a soft ooh. The recording sessions for So Long were some of the weirdest, given the fact that the swimming pool hall inside Glenn's studio was used as an echo chamber for the electric guitar. Yet another example of the thirst for experimentation of a mere pop band. At that time we had very few ready-made machines to create sounds with, remembers Michael Tretto, so I had to try out different things, and that pool was all tiled, which made for a very big sound. Glenn's studio was in fact a family house. Sean Schaffer, who played the guitar in those sessions, still remembers that the whole house trembled, and the never-ending complaints of Bruno Glenmark's mother-in-law. Bruno was the owner of the studio and the Glenmark brothers, future Gemini's duet's uncle. The backing track becomes even more dazzling by the touch of a trumpet, played by Bruno Glenmark, although its role is tiny. In the first half of the verses, we listen a somewhat hidden pair of chords, and then it reappears after Benny's piano solo. During that solo, the keyboard player goes, at last, to the front in terms of volume, while he plays a short but very precise, relentless solo, something to wait very anxiously for if you already know the song. The style of the trumpet's performance in the last part reminisces that of the orchestra from the swing era in the mold of Glenn Miller. In tune with that idea, when ABBA performed So Long Live on stage, the trumpet solo was often the same as that which introduces In the Mood. This instrumental ending was used by the girls to do one of the very few choreographies, consisting of 3 steps, that they created for ABBA. That choreography remained good, not bad at all, for a band which never made a big dancing display, regardless of one of the girls mixing up the steps and resulting in colliding with the other. So Long is the musical equivalent to those photographs of the ABBA from the glam era. Incredibly short skirts, tight pants, defiant poses, sex appeal. The world was about to be conquered.